Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to UUCOV, the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Venice. We define ourselves as a home for liberal religion, which to me means open to new ideas and supporting the social welfare of all people. We are so happy to welcome each one of you here today, whether in person or online. We hope you'll meet someone new and find something valuable to take home from today's service. My name is Marcia Smith, and I'll be your worship associate today. To learn more about UUCOV and our programs, please go to our website at uucov.org or our Facebook page. If you're joining us online, please consider supporting the wonderful people and technology that bring a service to you through the donate button at the top of our webpage. Are there any new visitors today that are feeling brave to stand up and introduce themselves? Any new visitors today? Well, welcome new and old, one and all. If you haven't ever had a chance to stop by the welcome table and fill out a card, please do. We now begin our service with the prelude. We light our chalice with words from Don Shea Cooley. We light our chalice this morning, grateful for the love that we experience in this beloved community. May the light the way for all who seek such abundance, and may we share with one another joyfully. And now our interim minister, Reverend Amy Petrie Shaw.
We're going to open today with a prayer for holidays with families. Dear Spirit, great mystery that has blessed us with life, help us to feel grateful. We give thanks for this coming holiday and all those who follow. However, and with whomever we will spend them, we give thanks to be alive, to be able to mark this day in whatever way we choose. We give thanks for family and friends and those who gather around in body or spirit, in flesh or in memory. We give thanks for all those people who came before us, who, flawed and damaged as they were, loved us into being and shaped us into who we are now. We remember with gratitude. And we give thanks for mothers and fathers, grandmothers and grandfathers, step-parents. They did their best. We give thanks for strange uncles and rebellious aunts, for terrible cousins and unexpected guests. We give thanks for the long car rides and the dashes through airports and endless rounds of Monopoly. We give thanks for the awkward conversation, the strained pauses, even the slammed doors. You know what? We give thanks for the disagreements that forced us to grow and move and evolve. We give thanks for surviving those disagreements, especially the ones that bloomed into anger or worse. We give thanks for all of it, for all those wild and hungry people, our family, our friends, our congregation, people just as flawed as we are, all dealing with more than we can see, all part of a larger whole, every last one doing their best, or maybe wishing they could. We give thanks just for the glory of being alive. Please take a moment to say hello or to introduce yourself to all the glorious people around you this morning. A gathering hymn that may be new to some of you this morning, and I picked it for a reason. The hymn's number 406, Let Us Break Bread Together. It's not one we do often. Back in the 60s, at the height of the protest movement, some of you may remember Marian Anderson singing this. And she sang it at a time when our country was torn by protest over the Vietnam War. She sang it at the steps of the Washington Monument. Joan Baez has sung it. But they've always done it as a plea to our country to find a way to talk together and walk together when conflict seemed almost insurmountable. And so we are going to learn it today, and we may not sing it perfectly, and that's okay. Our country is under a lot of stress. Palestine and Israel are in the midst of a terrible war. And so we're going to learn this song. And while it might have some language in it that really isn't ours, what matters is the idea, may we all learn to break bread together again. So what's going to happen is Lisa is going to play it through once so you can hear the melody line. And then we're going to give it a shot. rise. We're going to do number 406. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you. This time in the service is our children's chapel when we explain to the smallest among us what it is the adults are going to be talking about later in the service. And what we're talking about today is what thankfulness and gratitude really are. You know, a lot of people think that thanks has something to do with somebody doing something for you. So somebody hands you an ice cream cone and you say thanks. And then you're glad you had the ice cream cone. And that's the extent of it. It's transactional. That means somebody gives you something, you take it. It's a business relationship. So we're going to be talking about the fact that that's part of it, but that's not all of it. What's really important is accepting that you deserve good things to happen to you because you're human, because you're alive. You deserve to have nice things happen. You deserve to live in a world where the people around you are happy that nice things have happened to you. And you deserve to help make nice things happen to other people. What we're not going to be talking today is some story about pilgrims and Indians. As Unitarian Universalists, we know that the stories we got taught as children about some first Thanksgiving are what? A bunch of lies. So we don't celebrate some holiday where marvelous white people came and sat down with a bunch of stereotypical non-white people and had some big dinner. That's absolutely not what we will be talking about today. So thank you all for listening, and I ask you all to help me sing the children out with the words of the Reeb Children's Benediction.
Could come up, please. Today's opening anthem is by Cliff Hardin. It's Welcome, Welcome, and it contains the words Gaudiamus Hodie, which means we rejoice today. You'll hear that in the music. Cliff Hardin has been the director of music at the River Road Unitarian Universalist congregation of Bethesda, Maryland for 40 years. So this is a well-loved Unitarian anthem. running around a lot today. Today, as part of UUCOV's 25th anniversary, we are celebrating music. In a minute, we'll see a slideshow with a musical backdrop provided by Marianne Kerner, but I'd like to start with a thank you to the choir. This is a dedicated group of volunteers. They rehearse every week and spend time at home studying their music, right? And our choir director, Jan Simon, is also a volunteer, and I'm her assistant and sometimes substitute, as you see today. And all of this couldn't work without our wonderful accompanist, Lisa Frank. In today's slideshow, we can't possibly recognize everyone who has been a part of music here at UUCOV, so just for fun, can everyone who ever sang in the choir please raise your hand? Can anyone who ever performed in a talent show or other event here raise your hand? Give yourselves a round of applause. And now, can you back, there we go. Now, can we please start the slideshow and the music? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcia, and thank you, Marianne. That was amazing. It's a time in our service for our offering, and our offering words are always offered with levity because giving shouldn't hurt. A UU minister pastored a church for 35 years, and as he neared retirement, the church found it could not raise enough money to continue to operate. The board president said, "We need a miracle. Our old building is ready to fall in. There are alligators in the pond and fire ants in the yard. It will take $2 million to save us." And the pastor reached into his desk and pulled out a dusty box, and he opened it, revealing stacks of neatly folded $100 bills and 2 small, beautifully carved wooden chalices. "There are $2 million here," the pastor said. "Take it and save the church." And the board went wild, laughing and clapping, but eventually the vice president said, "You've saved us, but I have to know, what are the chalices doing in there?" The pastor said, "When I was a brand new minister, my mentor gave me an amazing piece of advice. Every time your congregation does something that makes you want to scream, go and carve a small wooden chalice." "Wow," said the board president, "that is amazing." And he smiled to himself, thinking, our beloved minister has only wanted to scream at us twice in 35 years. The vice president was more suspicious, as vice presidents often are. He said, "That explains the chalices, but where did the money come from?" "Oh, that's the money I made by selling small, handmade wooden chalices by the dozen," the pastor said calmly. "I am not good at carving small wooden chalices, so the morning offering will now be given and gratefully received." Thank you so much for these gifts and for absolutely everything you do for the life and the work of this community. You all are amazing. Being a part of a congregation is about the people. We come here together as a community of human hands and human hearts to share laughter and our tears. And so we're entering into a time of sharing joys and concerns. You can raise a hand and someone will bring you a microphone. We ask that you please share only stories that are yours to share. During the service or before the service, you are always welcome to come up and light a candle at our candle table. During joys and concerns, I will light them for you. So if you have joys or concerns, please raise a hand.
I thought Amy was just going to light the candle for me. The holidays are upon us, and it's a difficult time for me personally. I miss Richard particularly. and that's my concern.
Hi, I'm Jean Barlow, and I've been here since the last Sunday in April. And many of you I haven't met yet because you're down from wherever you have a wonderful home elsewhere. But I'm delighted to be here. I was invited by Barbara Griffin. I'm with Venice Musicale, and she is also, as is Marianne Kerner. But something nice happened on Thursday night. I did what they have as a wonderful ritual here. I signed the book. So instead of being a pledging friend, which I was almost from the beginning, I'm now a member. Thank you for being so welcoming.
I'm Judith Parker. I just came back from up north. I went up to visit a friend, a longtime friend from over 40 years that is sliding into dementia. And it's hard. And I just want to say, any of you are dealing with a relative or a friend that is sliding into dementia, you have my sympathies.
I'm Brad Harden, and I'm Miss Richard too. And I hope this is appropriate to have a little humor brought into this, and I know that Marianne will remember this. One time, the four of us, my wife and Marianne and Richard, were going up to something up in Sarasota. We offered to drive. Richard was sitting in the back seat, and it was in a seat that hadn't been attached to the floor very well. And so at one point we were taking off, and Richard ran over backwards into the back. And he forgave me, but he was a very special person, and certainly it's wonderful to remember him.
Hi, my name is Doreen, and I'm also new. I gotta find out what this book is. Because my husband is not feeling well today, but we feel so at home here. I think this is our fourth church since, we're not a church, whatever we are.
Yeah, she fits in.
And being so comfortable, I feel that I can say this. I'm also a member of the Venice Area Democrat Club. And some of you I've seen here, and we had a big meeting yesterday. We've gone, in 1 year that I've been somewhat active, we've gone from 300 to 500 members. But we have to be loud because, as you know, we're in the minority here. So thank you for letting me say this and for being a part of this.
Hi, I'm Serena Canamelli. I just want to mention one more person who contributed to our music, perhaps a little controversial figure, but a former interim minister who became our contract minister, Reverend Boudreau, who was a jazz pianist. And he actually offered, as our minister, he offered his services for 2 or 3 concerts, I can't remember. We didn't have to pay him, but we charged admission, and we made quite a bit of money for those 3 nights. Anyhow, Dan Boudreau, I just wanted us to remember him.
I lit a candle of joy for everyone who was at Pride yesterday. We had an awesome showing from our congregation. We had a full booth. People were stopping by. Leilani was doing tattoos. was wonderful. We also had the Vika booth with us. It's a lovely day. And a special thanks to everybody who came out last night for the trivia game. It was awesome. My team lost in the last 3 minutes. So I think Dave Lyons, you and your team ended up winning in the last 3 minutes. Y'all beat our butts anyway. It was wonderful. It was fun. If we do it again, please come out. It was a hoot of an evening. May the light of our community shine on all of the broken places of the world. May we never look away when we're needed. May those who are grieving be comforted. May those who are tired find rest. May the broken places be healed, and may those who are filled with joy and laughter be abundant.
Our reading this morning is from Being Thankful by Dr. Michael B. Brown, Senior Minister of Marble Collegiate Church. A friend of mine lost her husband when their daughter was 6 years old. The mother, even in her own profound grief, was also determined that an experience of loss would not become the defining element in her daughter's worldview. So, the mother presented her daughter with a jar, a piece of paper, and crayons, and she asked the little girl to help her tape the paper to the glass container and write on it the words, "Blessings Jar." Every night thereafter, prior to turning out the lights for sleep, the mom would have her daughter write on a slip of paper one good thing that happened in her life that day. Sometimes that was not an easy thing for the child to do. Sometimes it was easy, and other nights she struggled to remember a happy thought from her long day at school. But every night, before the lights went out, one good thought, one good experience was written down and placed in the jar. That practice lasted every night until the last night of the month, when they would empty the jar and read each entry one by one. They have been doing that every night for years. The mother told me, "I'm trying to help my daughter see the world positively, to realize that no matter how many bad things there are at any given moment, there are always blessings in our lives every day if we are simply willing to look for them." This practice is apparently working as the child is growing into a young woman of confidence, capability, and irrepressible hope. These are not easy times, but even in the midst of such, every one of us can find enough gold nuggets amid the muddy river waters to know that however things may seem at any given moment, we are still blessed. Our ancestors got it right. Thankfulness is offered not merely because of, but also in spite of. Those who are aware of that truth almost always reach personal places of peace. And having found such, they also find the strength and courage required to take action to make wrong things right. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll now have the choir. Please join me for a minute of silent meditation, thought, or prayer. Please rise in body or spirit as you're willing and able, and join in singing number 407. We're going to sit at the welcome table.
fact that all of the stores have put out their Christmas decorations, some of you may have noticed that Thanksgiving is coming up this week. Now, a national holiday dedicated to overdosing on turkey, visiting with family and friends, and getting ready to go shopping on Black Friday, it somehow doesn't seem like a deep theological construct. But since we're here, I have a question I want you to think about this week. It's not simple, even though it's plain enough. So here's your question for this week. What does it actually mean to be grateful in a world that looks like ours does today? What does it mean to love life, to live in a spirit of generosity, and to be thankful when things and people are never perfect? Now, there have been some serious moments where I was more cynical in my own answer to this question. I remember seeing a story a few years ago where someone's house burned down and they were interviewing a neighbor. And the woman told the reporter excitedly, and this is a true story, "It's amazing the house burned almost all the way down, but the family Bible was on the end table next to the recliner and it didn't get burned at all. It's a miracle." And I remember thinking about that for a really long moment as I looked at this charred skeleton of a house that was falling in its last bits, even as the news reporter was doing the interview. And I decided that the neighbor didn't quite have a handle on this miracle thing. But I read a quote from a writer, a teacher, and a clergyman, Henry Van Dyke, and he said, "Gratitude is the inward feeling of kindness received. Thankfulness is the natural impulse to express that feeling, and thanksgiving is the actual following of the impulse. Be glad of life because it gives you a chance to love, to work, to play, and to look up at the stars." And I had to sit with that quote for a while. I took a step back from it. Now I'm taking a step forward, and I want to look at it piece by piece. Gratitude is the inward feeling of kindness received. Growing up, I believed that that sort of thing was indeed a reciprocal arrangement. It was transactional. Someone did something nice, and you owed them gratitude. For every person who has ever been given the worst birthday present ever and said in their kindest voice, "Thank you so very much." I always thought gratitude was a response you made yourself feel, sort of like just saying thank you. Gratitude was a grace and a virtue. There's a Roman saying from Cicero, "Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others." And my approach was that you were somehow a better person if you were automatically grateful for everything. Like you were not only saying thank you, but you were actually making yourself feel grateful. I thought that was gratitude. An attitude of gratitude would somehow keep you from being rude. As if someone was keeping score and was going to say to me, "Yeah, but are you really grateful or were you just being polite?" I thought I owed gratitude, but Van Dyke reframed that for me. Gratitude is your feeling. It's your perception. It's the recognition of the way you personally process and experience kindness. Gratitude happens like anger or love or inappropriate giggles or getting sick. You don't create it. When your favorite grandchild gives you a little flower they picked all on their very own and hands it to you, that feeling you feel in your heart, that's gratitude. When your best friend calls you on the day that you're really down and they didn't do it because anybody told them to, they did it because they love you and they know you, and picking up the phone and hearing their voice and you just feel like, wow, somebody cared. That's gratitude. I had the focus wrong. You could not create random giggles. You cannot create gratitude. Gratitude is a feeling. Cultivating gratitude isn't about owing someone thanks. It isn't about not being rude. It's about trusting yourself and your perception. It's about learning to let yourself actually experience the moments when someone or something or the universe is accidentally or deliberately kind to you. And to have that inward feeling of, wee, that was awesome, without minimizing it, without shooting it down, without trying not to experience the feeling because you feel like you didn't deserve it. Gratitude is about experiencing it without wondering why or overthinking or planning on the nice thing you can do for them tomorrow. Cultivating gratitude is deliberate. It's a choice to mindfully keep track of the kindness in your world, rather than spending your time crafting a mental or physical list of all the unkind things that have happened. I'm not saying ignore them, but the list you keep track of is the list of all the good. Now, none of you have a tendency to track the bad and forget all the good stuff, right? Nobody. I'm sure none of us has ever stomped home with a complete list of how the barista was nasty and the guy cut you off in traffic and Hubert in the office made tuna and Limburger casserole. Nobody has ever said to their child, for Pete's sake, you didn't do the laundry again and the sandwiches aren't done and what is going on with you? How many times have you kept track of the opposite list? All the times Hubert stopped by your desk with coffee, all the times somebody let you merge in traffic and your partner did all the stuff they needed to do but didn't want you to have to do before you got home. Gratitude is the inward feeling of kindness received, but you get to choose if you're willing to experience those moments of gratitude in your life. You do have to recognize that you've actually received kindness. You do have to accept all the good gifts of life, at least recognize they were offered in order to feel something about getting them. If you never notice the kindness, you won't feel the gratitude. It isn't about owing. So gratitude is a feeling, and according to Van Dyke, thankfulness is the natural impulse to express the feeling. So you feel the feeling, and then thankfulness is an impulse. It comes down to this. How much do you trust? How much do you believe that you personally deserved the kindness? How well do you accept it? Is your impulse, after you've actually noted the kindness, to say something or to do something, to say thank you, to turn around and do something nice? Or are you always waiting for the other shoe to drop? You're scared to death to say, wow, that was incredible. Thank you, universe, because you're quite sure the universe has got a lightning bolt just waiting to get you for being shameless enough brazen enough to say, wow, that was awesome. There's no crime in being suspicious of sudden niceness if it comes from someone who has a history of hurting you. That is self-preservation. If someone's been cruel to you for years and suddenly got better, no, they didn't. Trust me on this. But how do you handle niceness in general? Joseph B. Wirthlin said, sometimes we should express our gratitude for the small and simple things like the scent of rain, the taste of your favorite food, or the sound of a loved one's voice. And you know, once you've seen the small and simple, or the great and marvelous, how much do you trust the universe? How safe do you feel in saying, something nice happened to me and I'm glad? Cultivating thankfulness isn't about saying thank you, even though that happens often. Cultivating thankfulness is about learning to trust that you deserve the good, that everyone deserves some good, not because you're perfect, but because you're human. Even the worst human on our planet, the worst human who's ever been, deserves the smell of a good meal once in a while, or a moment of hearing a song they find pleasant, a conversation held with dignity, even if it's in a prison. Cultivating thankfulness is about choosing to live in such a way that when you receive and recognize gratitude, it is fairly safe to say thank you. It is fairly safe to say, hey, this good thing is happening because you have surrounded yourself by people and situations which support your well-being and who will share in your gladness. That's a lot to think about. Cultivating thankfulness means you live surrounded by people who don't yuck your yum. That you live in situations where it's safe to come home and say, go me. Gratitude is a feeling. Thankfulness is the impulse to express that feeling. And thanksgiving is following that impulse. Thanksgiving requires the whole package. It's more than just the act of saying, this happened to me and I'm glad. You have to note the kindness, experience the gratitude. You have to trust and feel safe enough to want to say that something nice happened and you're glad. You have to feel safe enough to share that. You have to be somewhere in life where expressing kindness is not bad or unsafe, where you don't dismiss the impulse because going any further could put you at risk. Then at last, there can be Thanksgiving, that moment where the good happens, where you share the good, where you see and feel the kindness, and that there is a moment of support and affirmation. What does it mean to be grateful in a world that looks like ours does today? What does it mean to love life, to live in a spirit of generosity, be thankful when things and people aren't perfect? It means pay attention to the kindness in life. And when there isn't kindness, try to create some, because the chain has to start somewhere. And your generosity of spirit matters. It means change your lens if you need to. Take the time to see the good, to accept that the good has happened. It means that if it makes you feel unsafe to tell the people of your life that you have had good things happen, nice things happen, kind things happen to you, if you feel unsafe, it's time to reconsider who you surround yourself with and what circumstances you are in. It's time to ask for help if you need it. It should be safe and kind where you are. It should be safe to tell others you've experienced kindness. Because we all need Thanksgiving. We all need that moment when something good has happened, when we want to tell people something good has happened, and when we get to say, wow, what a great day I had today. We need moments of affirmation and joy, moments of generosity of spirit. We gather together today in a spirit of thanksgiving for all that we are, for all that you are, for all that we are together as a community. So enjoy this day. You are here, and that is an amazingly nice thing that has happened. Happy Thanksgiving. May we bring it to the world every day of the year. Amen. May you carry the light of gratitude, thankfulness, and love into the world with you today and always. Our final hymn today is number 349, We Gather Together. Please rise in body or spirit as you are willing and able, and join in singing number 349, We Gather Together. We go into the world together knowing that we are both the blessed and those who bless with all good gifts. May we give thanks this week and every week in a world of support, love, and joy. Peace, ashe, and may it be so. Amen. Please remain for just a few quick announcements. I have a couple of people slated to come up, but I'm just going to give the general announcements. December 6th is the holiday party. Sign up on the lanai or with Eileen Leapley. A reminder, the Vika Thanksgiving service is on Tuesday. Socrates Cafe starts the Wednesday after Thanksgiving. Walking group is starting. And keep an eye out for several new offerings, including spiritual practices,
Build Your Own Theology, for those who haven't built it yet. Sermon talks and other ARE classes. And finally, visitors are invited to gather in Waters Hall following Sunday services on the third Sunday of the month, and this is one, November through April. Enjoy coffee and light refreshments while chatting with our minister and and others, and that message is from the welcoming team. And we have announcements from Steve and from Jean.
Morning, everybody. I have a message from the custodial staff. That would be me. Please take your hymnals and return them to the bookcases at the end of each service. It makes it much easier to move chairs around that we do quite often at this time of year. And I'll put a plug in for Eileen while I'm at it. December the 6th, we're going to have a Christmas party. Just bring something to share, and Eileen can give you all the details. Thank you.
Also, there's a special meeting right after service with the finance team to talk about the new stewardship plan. Yeah, so be sure and come back in for that very important meeting. And Jean.
Thank you. Some of you already know about it, and some of you are actually signed up to do it. But I'm with Venice Musicale, and we're doing a fundraising cruise. Those of you who may not know about it, there is something on the sign-up table. There's also this brochure that tells you about Venice Musicale. So if you want to know who you're supporting or who you're going with, please pick up one of these, and I'm available to speak with you if you would like. It's March 2 through 9 to the Eastern Caribbean, and we'd be delighted to have you aboard. Thank you so much.
Ellen?
Mahjong is starting back up. The Tuesday after Thanksgiving at 1 o'clock in Waters Hall. If you don't know how to play, come and see me, but otherwise bring a card and...
Make it quick.
Forget the raffle.
Oh, what is the, sorry, the raffle. I have it on here and I forgot what it was. Tickets on the lanai for the raffle. Thank you very much, Marilyn.
Weaving that Marilyn did.
Beautiful artwork.
The walking is Pine Brook Park, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you can see the walking on In Touch where it will be happening. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you for staying.